Hi, thank you for joining me once again. As some of you may know, last week the Platte County Health Department issued new regulations regarding our response to the pandemic. And the physical distancing requirements are no longer required, right? So that's no longer absolutely necessary. It's still good to maintain a little bit of distance, I would say, but those 6 feet distances are no longer required. So with this in mind, we are changing some things this weekend. We have 4 sections of pews, the two in front of the altar, what we call the Holy Family side, and then the choir side. So in the two main sections, we will be using every pew. The tape will be coming up. We understand that at this point, some people still might prefer to be in a place where there is a little bit of distancing between pews. So for the time being, on the Holy Family section and the choir section, we still will be using every other pew. With the lessening of the physical distancing requirements, masks are still required by the county. And if anything, this is something that becomes more important with less spacing. And like you, I find the mask to be something that's irritating, something that's bothersome, but it's also something that's very important. It is a concrete way that we demonstrate love of neighbor. It's a way we witness even to the sanctity of human life, and it's even an act of patriotism. And it's important that we give a good example to one another. If you watched any parts of the funeral of Prince Philip, you would have seen that in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, there were only 30 people there. The Queen, despite the fact that she was vaccinated, despite the fact that she was maintaining distance, sat by herself, even away from her closest family members, and despite all that, she still wore a mask. She was giving a good example to her people. It's important, now even more so, that we encourage one another, that we give a good example to one another. The dispensation from the Sunday Eucharist will be lifted as of the first weekend in June. That's June 5th and 6th, and there'll be more on that in the weeks to come. In the meantime, we're getting closer to the end of all this, but we're not there yet. So it's important that we continue to be vigilant, that we continue to wear our masks at church, that we continue to give one another a good example. And in the words of St. Paul, we rejoice in hope, we endure in affliction, and we persevere in prayer. Let us continue to pray for one another and for our suffering world. God bless you all.